Very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ed Kravitz. For those of you who don't know me, I've operated a political website called SaveIV.com here for about 7 years. I've been critical of this council and the way that they operate. First of all, I want to tell you that my website is no longer on the internet. It's now being redirected to the Imperial Beach patch. My website was taken down by a professional cyber attack. And it's called an injector with a bear trap. But basically what that means is that everybody that went to my website, their computers were also hacked. It appears that somebody didn't like the Google searches that come up when you mention certain politicians' names, and by disabling my website, those Google images don't come up anymore. So anyway, we'll see where IC3 and FBI goes with that one. But anyway, I would like to thank Kari and the Patch and Michael Turco for opening this up to communication, which would otherwise be stifled. I've been coming to Mr. Brown for almost 10 years, asking him to work with the clerk, the city attorney, and the local adjudicated newspapers to see if they could get the agendas printed in the local newspaper before the meetings. Mr. Brown's been here almost 10 years. Here are your two adjudicated newspapers. There's no agenda in it for tonight's meeting. If it wasn't for the bloggers, the Patch, and myself, you people wouldn't even be here tonight. If it wasn't for Michael Turco and the Little League people, the deal for the sports park would have been done last October in closed session. And I believe it was a sale at that time. So that deal has changed a lot. When a ship is sinking, the first ones to jump ship are the rats. Well, in the last few months, we've lost Mr. Garcias, the code enforcement officer, who I like to refer to as the goon. We've lost Jerry Selby, the head of the RDA. And now Mr. Brown is retiring. We're not sure whether Mr. Brown is retiring just because he's retiring or whether he's being forced out. But we know one thing, and that is that Mr. Brown wants to leave before the bond debt goes public. And the majority of the people in this town are not aware of the bond debt. And in the state of California, it requires an election to increase your taxes, but it looks like the direction this thing is going is you property owners are going to be assuming the bond debt, and your property will end up probably getting leaned. I came here last December and last April, and I challenged the new members of the council to file a motion to terminate the contract with the city manager and the city attorney. And well, let's say that didn't really go over too well, but from a protocol standpoint, they don't actually have the power to fire the city attorney or the city manager. And that's not right. When I used to work for a law firm, we had a joke that they used to tell about if an attorney falls off a boat in the ocean, the sharks won't eat him. And it's basically called a professional courtesy. And I'm seeing a lot of that in the politics in San Diego County. Conspiracy doesn't start till you find out about it. And the statute of limitations, it really doesn't apply here. We recently had a situation where it became public that the grand jury has been investigating this council and the RDA. And this council spent your tax dollars to pay the city attorney's office to try to get a gag order on a sitting grand jury to keep them from publishing a report about the ill doings and the inadequacies that these people have accomplished as your public representatives. That's never been done in the state of California before. We have problems in this grand jury report, although there aren't any indictments. We have a payroll system here that allows employees to add hours to their time cards after they've been approved by their supervisors. We have a warrant register that doesn't match the city's checkbook. We have no standard accounting principles, and the grand jury 3 years ago told this city it's time to adopt standard accounting principles. Mr. Janney ran for office because of his special understanding of accounting principles, and Mr. Brown has also bragged that he has a special creative understanding of accounting principles. But apparently, according to the grand jury report, there was commingling of assets between the RDA and the general fund. And I hope that the grand jury or the judge involved in this case will find some of you folks in contempt. They've spent the better part of 10 years destroying the heart of the business community here. They took away the heart down there because it was blighted. Well, it was a tax revenue producing shopping center that served the community. And it's blighted now Now you should be real proud. You guys have spent millions and millions of dollars and you've done more damage. You are totally incompetent. You have abused every demographic in this town with the exception of regional politicians and wealthy developers. And I hope that the grand jury's investigation is not over, and I hope that the other agencies that are investigating you will find a way to convict you and your predecessors. 16 years, there's been no planning commission in this town, no checks and balances. The planning commission was eliminated when Mike Bixler was mayor as an emergency measure, and since then, there's no recourse for people that have a problem with a building permit. Mr. Wade has been the dictator on this issue for a lot of years, and making Mr. Wade the new city manager pretty much guarantees a recall effort's coming. So you guys just keep on doing what you're doing. So where's the agenda in the newspaper? Too bad we can't get Rose McCoy and Winter in on this because they're gone now. They're the ones that caused all this. They're the ones that unleashed Garcias on the business community and the residents and the homeowners of this community. There's no accountability. Last week you had a closed...
Mr. Kravitz, your time is up.
I could probably go for another 5 minutes. I'm speaking on behalf of the people of the
Sir,
community.
your time is up. I gave you 6 minutes. Your time is up.
Would anybody else yield time?
Sir, I would not give more time.
Well, I know.
The policy has been you can donate up to 6 minutes.
Okay.
That's how we do it.
I will publish the rest of this on the patch, folks. But if you hear anybody starting a recall effort, I urge you, join them. Thank you.